Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting practical, really digging into RC suspension tuning. Specifically, we're looking at these Tamiya TRF aeration dampers. We've got notes here for a setup change, going from the heavier hashtag 300 CST oil.
That's the orange stuff.
Right, the orange. Good for rough tracks, gives stability. We're switching to a lighter hashtag 200 CST oil, the red one. And the idea here is less damping force. Faster reaction, better grip on those smooth, high-bite surfaces.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good to remember what the damper's actually doing here. It's not holding the car up. That's the spring's job.
Right.
The damper, the shock, it just controls how fast the suspension moves, compresses and rebounds. So changing the oil viscosity, you're deliberately tuning that speed.
Okay, let's unpack that because these Tamiya dampers, they're weird, right? Aeration dampers. Doesn't aeration mean .air? I always thought you wanted zero air in performance shocks.
Like none at all. That's the usual way, yeah. But this is a clever engineering, actually. Unlike other shocks trying to purge every bubble, these are meant to have a tiny bit of air mixed in with the oil, emulsified.
Huh. Why?
Well, think about it. When the shock shaft pushes into the shock body, it takes up space, right?
Yeah, it displaces volume.
Exactly. That little bit of compressible air compensates for that displaced volume. It prevents the shock from locking up solid hydraulic lock. And it gives you that nice progressive damping they're famous for. It's part of the design.
Ah, okay. And that explains the weird build test then, where you actually listen for a tiny squeak sound at the very end of the compression. That means you got just the right amount of air in there.
That's the sweet spot. That faint squeak tells you the air-oil ratio is perfect. You've nailed the build.
Okay.
But keeping it perfect, that's where, the real work starts. Which leads us to maintenance. Proper cleaning.
Right. And this is where maybe like some listeners might wonder, do you really need to go crazy with the cleaning? I mean, if I just drain out the old 300 oil, wipe things down, pour in the new 200, are a few leftover drops really going to matter that much? Full strip down, degreaser, alcohol?
Yeah.
Seems like overkill just for a tuning treat.
Oh, it absolutely matters. It's critical, actually, because those few drops, they introduce what we call the ghost variable.
The ghost variable.
Yeah. You've got leftover hashtag 300 oil mixing with your fresh hashtag 200 oil. Now you've got, who knows, some unknown viscosity. Maybe 220 in one shock, 240 in another if you weren't consistent.
Ah, I see.
And for someone learning, trying to tune methodically, it's a disaster. Think about it. Maybe 5% old oil left in one shock, maybe 10% in the one diagonally opposite.
Okay, yeah.
Your damping is now inconsistent across the car. Your setup notes, pretty much worthless.
So all that careful work changing springs or roll centers is wasted because the dampers aren't doing what you think they're doing.
Exactly. You swap methodical science for just guesswork. Plus, that old oil isn't just oil. It's got tiny bits of metal, aluminum dust, maybe plastic particles suspended in it. Abrasives.
Ugh.
Leave that in, and it just chews up your nice new seals much faster.
Okay. Message received. Cleanliness is next to godliness, or at least next to consistent lap times. This whole consistency thing, though, it forces us to look at the language. Viscosity. It gets confusing. You see CN centestokes and you see WT. Wait, what's the real deal?
Right. Well, CN centestokes, that's the one that matters scientifically. It's the proper SI unit for kinematic viscosity. It's measured objectively, usually by timing how fast a fluid flows under controlled conditions.
So like a standard measurement.
A global standard, yeah. If Company A sells 400 CS oil and Company B sells 400 CST oil, assuming they follow the standard, those oils should perform identically in terms of viscosity.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about WT then? Weight.
It's basically marketing. It's not standardized across the industry at all. A 30 WT oil from one brand might be completely different from a 30 WT oil from another brand.
Seriously?
Yeah. The WT number is really only useful for comparing oils within that specific manufacturer's own range.
Wow. So if you tune using WT and then switch brands, you're kind of flying blind again. Introducing another variable.
Precisely. You lose that crucial consistency. You can't accurately replicate a setup someone else shared if you're using a different brand's WT oil. Stick to CST for reliable comparisons.
Good to know. So just to connect back to our example, the new oil, the hashtag 200 CST red stuff, that's roughly 20 DD.
Approximately, yes.
So.
In Tamiya's line, roughly.
And the old oil we meticulously cleaned out, the hashtag 300 CST orange. That was closer to 27 WT.
About that, yeah. So you see, even the WT jump isn't linear with the CST jump.
Right. It really highlights that the CST is the number to trust. This whole process, it really shows that getting your car dialed isn't some black art. It's about being disciplined, being consistent, turning basic maintenance into, like, a controlled experiment.
That's it, exactly. Mastering the variables you can control. And here's something to chew on. The top racers, the really competitive folks,
Yeah.
they often recommend a full damper rebuild, clean, new seals, fresh oil every 10 to 15 hours of hard use.
Wow, that's frequent.
It is. So think about the average user maybe running their car on weekends. How much performance, how much consistency are they potentially leaving on the table just by letting those little ghost variables creep into their suspension over time? Makes you think, right?